This is AIN TV, and I'm David Lombardo in Houston, Texas at Heli Expo 2010. We're here with Matt Zuccaro, president of HAI. Matt, this time last year, we talked at HAI, and the economy was pretty bad, but the industry actually looked pretty good. How are we doing this year?
We're doing a little better, actually, to tell you the truth. There's no denying that certain segments of the industry are struggling. But I think the magic to our industry remains our diversity. We have over 55 missions that are done with helicopters, so when you get a downturn in a particular area or mission profile, it's absorbed, in other areas that are doing completely unrelated tasks with the helicopter. So we're kind of encouraged. It's stable. I think on the international scene, the helicopter industry is vibrant and stable. And I know, quite frankly, to be very honest, that that might sound not really as accurate to those people who had a cutback. There are individuals who had to lay off staff, but I think we look on it as an international basis. It is doing good, and it's still strong.
We know that the government has had a lot of cutbacks because of the economy. How is that affecting the helicopter industry in terms of law enforcement and government use, that sort of thing?
Well, that's absolutely true. That is, in fact, one of the segments that has been hit hard due to the budget cutbacks with the government at all levels, county, state, federal. And they've done an excellent job of becoming what I like to call lean and mean. Unfortunately, some orders have been canceled for new aircraft, and in some cases, some of the departments have had to shut down because of the budget cutbacks. But they are doing the best they can, and we are going to remain optimistic that coming out the other side, due to the absolutely critical nature of law enforcement, public service operations, that they'll return and they'll come back strong.
One of the issues I know that HAI has been concerned about is sort of a level regulatory playing field between the FAA and EASA and other agencies. How are we doing in terms of progress in that area?
Really quite well, to be honest with you. We have the International Federation of Helicopter Associations, which HAI is the lead for, and that brings together the international associations from various countries around the world. And as a matter of fact, tomorrow we'll be having a International Federation Helicopter Association luncheon with all the players from around the world for the various associations. And HAI has been very aggressive through IFHA in sending representatives up to Montreal to ICAO. We've sent people from HAI over to Europe to help with the various working groups on such issues as international standards for IFR operations for heliports. So we're heavily engaged in that, and we understand, quite frankly, that there is going to be a harmonization internationally and a standard worldwide, which we support.
Speaking of standards, the International Helicopter Safety Team has kind of been one of your pet projects, and it's going, as I understand it, fairly well on an international basis, but are we having issues getting it down to the small operators, probably where it's needed the most?
Yeah, that is exactly the essence of our concentration right now. We've done a lot of hard work. We've analyzed every accident for the last 3 years. We have what we believe to be some excellent products in terms of our toolkits that we put out relative to training, maintenance. We have a safety management system toolkit, but the reality is that over 85% of this industry is in fact small operators, 1 to 5 helicopters, and we're concentrating on those operators to help them as best we can to put the safety message down into that level. And we fully acknowledge that we are having some frustration in reaching those operators because, quite frankly, they're there every day making the rotors turn and trying to keep their companies going. So we know that we have to get out to them, and we're trying to aggressively do that through such programs as the FAA FAST Team, where we have pilot operator safety forums that are given on a monthly basis by the local FSDOs, and we'll be concentrating with that program through HAI and IHST to support those programs and sponsor them so we can reach the small operator.
Matt, thank you very much. We're also with Mark Gibson, chairman of the board of HAI, and Mark is an operator. Mark, tell me, right now in 2010, what is your biggest concern as an operator?
Well, I think this year our biggest concern as an operator really is the state of the economy. As Matt mentioned, I think we have some stability this year, but I think the majority of the operators are sort of feeling the same way that we are, is we really want to get through this year. survivability mode as opposed to really a whole lot of expansion. And then, of course, aside from that, some of the other issues are regulatory is always a major concern. A lot of regulatory issues coming down the pike, but in general, I think the economy is probably the number one concern.
The other thing is, particularly in a bad economy, we're always concerned about being as efficient and effective as we possibly can. If you had the power for a day to dictate what OEMs can do, in the term of technology and customer service, what would you have them do?
I think the number one priority would be product support after the fact, parts availability. All the OEMs that we work with, that continues to be a problem, especially on the older aircraft that a lot of the smaller operators, such as ourselves, are still operating. Product support and availability is probably the number one concern there.
Matt, Mark, thank you very much. I appreciate it. For AIN TV in Houston, Texas at Heli Expo 2010, I'm David Lombardo.